we're going to go ahead and look at. This is apparently Ubisoft. Ubisoft has fucked up with this so bad that the Japanese Prime Minister is talking about it. It's being discussed in their parliament. Oh my god.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is not happy about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's watch this.
この今言ういわゆる朝栗問題ということについてお伺いしたいんですが。
Did you hear that? He said asakuri issue, meaning we Japanese keep on talking about this all the time.
Yeah.
So asakuri issue, he didn't explain about asakuri issue, right? Because everyone knows.
Oh, so he's basically what he's saying is that it's so well known he doesn't even need to explain it. Yeah, okay.
3月20日にですね、発売予定のフランスの UBI ソフトの株式会社制作の
Okay, well, this also kills my theory that it was actually them discussing live streaming because he's discussing Assassin's Creed explicitly, right? So it actually wasn't about live streaming. This is actually about Assassin's Creed.
このアサシンクリードシャドウ
That's what this is about.
ついてなんですけど、海外で
Overseas, though, early gameplay videos have already popped up on YouTube. I watched them, and here's what I saw.
That video that went to really viral. And I was surprised that there's a lot of people
Oh, shit.
to really viral.
Here it is. Oh,
And I
man.
was surprised that
Bro, he just tore that shit
video
up.
that
One more
went
time.
to really viral. And
Bro,
I was
he went in on
surprised
that shit.
There's a lot of people who think
There it
that's
is.
okay. I think most of people doesn't know that's that shrine and altar. I guess, but a lot of Japanese people feel offended about that video.
板手小津シュラインと実名で私の兵庫県の姫路市の入間の国奏者板手氷津神社が登場します。ゲームの中でですね、主人公の
The main character is samurai swings a sword inside the prayer hall, smashing drums, altars, and sacred objects. He shatters them and slashes at the villagers in the shrine, and what it looks like priests cutting them down, even shooting arrows. It's set up so you can commit these violent acts.
Yeah, that's the thing. They can just disable it, but they made it object that breakable.
私はこの話を聞いてですね、ちょっと地元の神社がありますので、直接宮司さんにお話を伺いました。
The chief priest, the game company never reached out, not once, to the shrine about using its name or getting permission. Nothing at all. That's what he said. On top of that, places like Nara's Tojai, other shrines, ancient burial mounds. Oh, I forgot. This is another very important component that you get to wear. Isn't one of the pre-order bonuses of Assassin's Creed Shadows that you get the ancient family emperor's armor with the emperor's seal on it? Oh, robbing Imperial... Let me see. I just want to show you guys this here. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's been revealed that players will be looting the tomb of an ancestor of the emperor, sparking controversy in Japan. So the Desiro Kofan is the tomb of Emperor Nintoko, an ancestor of the current imperial family. So Yasuke can steal armors. Yeah, there it is. Can steal armor from the imperial family's tomb.
Whoa, you're reading that right. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's been revealed through the art book leaks that you will be getting trophies for looting the Emperor's tomb. That's right. Ancestors of the current imperial family are up for grabs. You can steal the sacred armor of one of the most earliest Japanese emperors in history as Yasuke, a foreigner. Now, I get it. The West doesn't have respect for their culture, so it's perfectly fine to slap George Washington in a Challenger and have him tear ass in the field somewhere. But in Japan, they have a reverence for their culture, and in fact, they're known the world over for this. So if Ubisoft is in fact creating a very accurate game and a game that respects the Japanese culture instead of lecturing to it, what the hell is this?
Well, I don't know what it is, but yeah, so that's what's being referred to right here. Their images like this were used without permission. That's happening too. Masagi Uzoshi, Vice Manager of the Economy, joining us. Globally, the number of people enjoying these games keeps growing every year. But when it comes to games using footage of specific places, without permission, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? So this is the Prime Minister.
This is just kind of insider note. I know some people that sent me this video.
Yeah.
So they didn't use word of Yasuke. Can't talk about it that detail, but something really scared concerns me. It's that there's an unspoken rule. You cannot cause other trouble to other ministries. I heard they can't use word of Yasuke in here. If we were Japanese, I think this is one of the biggest concern. And they decided to not to mention about Yasuke.
Okay.
That's what they told me. But my concern is that which ministry get trouble if they use word of Yasuke in here? As a Japanese, that's one of the biggest concern. What's going on, really?
I mean, like, I can definitely understand it. And it's kind of like... Jesus, let me think of a way to explain what this is kind of like. It's like you are a soldier in World War II, or like somewhere around in that era, and you're not even from America, but somehow you get sent over to fight in World War II, and there's like a subplot line where you can fuck Eleanor Roosevelt. Really? And that would be pretty fucking weird, wouldn't it? That would be pretty odd. Yeah, that's a lot. Games Outwent, yes. It's just a game. It is just a game. The thing is that I know it's just a game, but it to me it's funny. Like I'm not Japanese, and I think the reason why a lot of people are talking about this is that the premise of the game is set basically like the game came out and it was released and it was expressed to the public as if it's like, oh, well, it was done almost in like a patronizing way, I think that a lot of people felt, where this game gets made, it gets put out there, it has this storyline that's obviously exaggerated to like, you know, like a power of fucking 50, right? And then they're trying to like virtue signal basically with having this stuff in the game, and people find it annoying, right? And so if the story from the very beginning was about a fake character, and like, for example, I've been playing, as I said before, I've been playing Rise of the Rohirrim. This is a very good game. I really enjoy this game a lot. And they have a historical character, Matthew Perry, in the game. And so Matthew Perry is I think he's from America. I don't remember exactly. And he's from this game, and he is a honorable, reasonable, good guy. And he's not like a stupid, like, moron. Like, I feel like he's respectful in the game, right? And so, because it's like the idea of like colonial Japan, and there's like a bunch of other stuff. So the problem isn't that you're using historical characters. The problem is that you're using historical characters and then making an argument to authority of their authenticity. That's, I think, what really annoyed a lot of people. Does that make sense? That's what annoyed a lot of people. Is like, you're making this argument to authority, like, oh, well, we understand this. We brought in cultural experts and we're telling you this. That's it. Baron, I'm not defending Assassin's Creed. The third game makes Washington a villain in the DLC, and no one said it was disrespectful to the birth of the U.S. So the reason why it's not a problem for them to do that, and you also fight the Pope and it's also not a problem, is because they never presented the game as any form of historical context in a way that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but as soon as Yasuke was announced as a character, everybody was like, what the fuck? There's not even certainty that this guy was a samurai. That's not even what's going to happen. It's also their own culture. And that's another thing too. And so, and this goes into like what I was saying is that in like Western American culture, it's much more okay to make fun of Christianity than like I'd say Judaism, Islam, or Hinduism, right? And it's not as okay to make fun of those because that's not our culture, right? So like it's very different when you have a culture that's satirizing itself versus a culture that's satirizing and seemingly appropriating another culture. Do you see kind of like how the difference there is? And it's the same thing as like, it's like the implicit thing that you can make racist jokes about your own race. I think this is very, very established, right? I do it all the time about making jokes about white people. Somebody else does that and they're a different skin color. People are going to get mad about it, right? And so, yeah, that's it. The main reason Japanese are boycotting this game is the foreigner killing Japanese is culturally insulting to them. Really? I thought they just didn't like the combat. No, I don't know. It's not our place to tell another culture what should and shouldn't be offensive. Well, you can do whatever you want. Like, you have the right to make something that's offensive to Japanese people, but you don't have the right to do that and then make the argument to authority that you're doing it and it's historically respectful. You can be disrespectful, but don't go and act like you're not doing that. That's the difference. Payback for Pearl Harbor? They're French! They weren't even there! No, they're French! That's not even it! Like, what do you mean?
加田博之君。ありがとう。それでですね、それに伴いまして、昨今、コロナ禍の影響もすれまして、観光客が
Oh boy. Bro, they about to make Japan a private server. Straight up. Yeah. I don't blame them. Honestly, I don't either. I think it's disgraceful. It's absolutely it's disgraceful the way that people act over there. It really is. It's same with Korea, right? Over tourism is causing all sorts of problems. For instance, people climbing on the shrine torii gates. Oh wait, that's what I did in Assassin's Creed yesterday. Or scribbling graffiti on shrine pillars. Wait, they've got tourists that are climbing on torii gates and scribbling graffiti? What the fuck? Tourist misbehavior is turning into a real tourism headache. Yeah.
That's also something I've been talking about on my channel.
Yeah.
A lot of foreigners who do that. I gotta be honest. Just because they think Japanese won't fight back.
That's exactly why they do it, by the way. That's why they don't do it in China. They don't do this in China. They do it in Japan. They don't do this in North Korea. They do it in South Korea. They don't do this in, I don't know, some random village in Africa or some like more developing country in Africa. They're doing it up in Europe, in Sweden or something like that. Yeah, they're not doing this in Dubai. They're not doing this in... I never see them go over to Saudi Arabia and do this. Doesn't happen. Graffiti on concrete is one thing, but torii gates... I actually think the graffiti is worse. Because it's like, after somebody's off a torii gate, they're off of it, right? And like, unless they're really fat, it's not going to affect the thing. But like, if you've got graffiti on it, I mean, that's like a permanent print on it. And like, I don't know, like they're both... It's both disrespectful, and as a tourist going to a country, this is outrageous that people would act this way. It's completely disgraceful. It's embarrassing.
Won't say anything, or they're taking advantage of Japanese politeness or kindness.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. Yes.
And it's very natural that as a Japanese, if you see that game, we feel like, oh, they can do that because they think Japanese won't say no.
Exactly. That is 100% what's happening. In this game, NPCs, non-player characters, and these real places are used without permission. You can attack them or destroy them. What if that kind of behavior in the game spills over into the real world? Could it inspire copycat nuisance acts? So like half of this is stupid, but the reality of it is true. is that it's not Assassin's Creed that's causing people to go over to Japan and treat it like a PvP server, even though it's a PvE server. No, that's not what's happening. It's not Assassin's Creed that's doing that. It's live streamers that are doing it. And I guarantee you that as soon as they saw one person going over to Japan and getting clout and getting their clips posted around for being crazy in Japan, a bunch of other people went over there to do the exact same thing. So like it's not a pipeline of like video games translate to real life behavior. It's real life behavior translates to more real life behavior. Logan Paul easy. I don't think it's because of Logan Paul. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't want to come off like a Logan Paul defender here, but let's be real. He did a really stupid thing. He apologized for it. And as far as I know, he's never really said or denigrated Japan since then. Like, he did apologize. Like, and the big difference there is that a bunch of these other live streamers never apologized for it. They've never, said, hey, I shouldn't have done that. They just did it themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is the prime. Okay, so now we have the main dude. All right, here we go. On the legal side of this, sit down, talk with the education ministry, foreign ministry, figure it out. Graffiti on shrines, it's completely out of line. Yeah, it's that simple. It's that simple. I like this guy. Graffiti found on prestigious shrines. Oh, God.
It just happened.
Yeah.
That happened before.
To me, it's an insult to the country. It is. Plain and simple. That's where I stand. When we sent the self-defense force to Iraq back in the day, it wasn't about forcing beliefs on anyone, not at all. But Islamic customs and traditions, we made sure our troops going there understood them. Which are then more into basics. Yeah, sure. I think that makes sense. Japan, you're expected to finish everything or it feels rude. That's our way. Then finish Dragon's Dogma 2. If you clean your plate, it signals it wasn't enough. That's an insult. Yeah, you don't. It might seem small, but at the very least, respecting a country's culture. Hey, am I wrong? And religion, that's fundamental. Okay. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, it is. That diplomacy doesn't work. Yeah, of course.
Here you go. He said that without that respect, diplomacy doesn't work. Ubisoft. Listen, this is our prime minister. Not just one unknown grifter is talking. Japanese
and this is another component, is that a lot of the criticism of Assassin's Creed Shadows was compartmentalized as if it was just a bunch of racist white people that didn't want a black person in Japan. And now that you have actual Japanese people that are speaking out against it, a lot of these social media virtue signalers don't really know what to do or how to approach it because they can't tell a non-white person that they're wrong about their culture because that would go against their retarded beliefs. So they're stuck in this position where they can't really speak out against this and defend it, even though if it was a white person saying this, they absolutely would. Yeah, they're stun locked. Exactly. Like this is it's kind of like a it's like a game bug, right? Or
minister is speaking.
Am I wrong about this? I don't think I am.
I feel relieved, but please do something.
What they need to do is they need to take any of the people that are live streaming in Japan, and if you are live streaming and you commit any form of harassment at all towards a foreigner, you should be immediately deported. Like, ironically, it's what people were really mad about me saying this about people in America, like that are like supporting terrorist organizations that aren't citizens, and I said, get them the fuck out. I just want to show you guys, I'm consistent about this. You come to another fucking country like Japan, you're not from that country, you're starting trouble, get the fuck out. Just really, it's not even a question. How do you even, like, instant deport? Yeah. Especially if they're live streaming and doing it, yes. Revoke their passports? Yes, instantaneously.
おっしゃる通りで